out on the water on a most glorious day with Tim and Tess. And I'm so excited for them because this is their first paddleboarding experience today. Are you guys excited?
Super excited, yeah.
So Tess, tell me, what makes you want to try paddleboarding?
Well, I've done a lot of different other water sports like kayaking, canoeing. Paddleboarding is something that's just new to me. So I really want to try it, add to the collection of sports that I'm doing.
I think that's a good reason. How about you, Tim? What makes it exciting for you?
I'm looking to do some exploring, kind of back deep into some rivers and see what's there.
Sounds like a relaxing kind of thing to do.
Hope so.
Well, I think you guys are going to love it, but I do want to just say one thing and encourage you. Always wear your life jacket. Don't go out without it because it's always about safety first, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be a great day for paddleboarding, so let's go have some fun.
All right, good.
Stand-up paddleboarding has become one of the most popular paddling sports as people experience the excitement and ease of getting on their board in the water for the first time. Whether traveling in a deserted river, tropical city, or inner city canal, the enjoyment is still the same, providing a leisurely experience that can be enjoyed time and time again. As with any water sport, however, it is vitally important to follow certain rules and guidelines to help ensure your safety. In this video, we're going to briefly outline some important rules, laws, pointers, and skills you need to know before you enjoy stand-up paddleboarding on the open water so that you can have both a safe and enjoyable experience. You should make preparations before starting your trip. The most important piece of equipment is the paddle board. Be sure to choose a board that correlates with the paddler's weight, skill, and intended use. Find a paddle that is the proper height. For beginners, it is recommended that the paddles stand roughly 8 to 10 inches taller than you. This allows you to paddle in a more upright position. For the more skilled paddler looking to enjoy whitewater and surfing, a shorter paddle standing 6 to 8 inches taller than you can be used. Be prepared for emergencies and let someone know where you are going. This is called a float plan. If you're new to the sport, be sure to start out on calm, flat water, free of obstacles like boats or buoys. Utilize a map or chart and plan your trip accordingly to ensure you have proper knowledge of the waterways and tidal conditions. Paddle into the wind at the start of your trip, or paddle a downwinder from point A to B and have a vehicle waiting at the takeout for shuttle. Don't attempt any trip that will be too long for your physical condition. Keep in mind that weather conditions can change quickly on the water, and plan and dress appropriately. If possible, plan for unexpected immersion and consider carrying extra clothes in a plastic bag. It is also important to know and be able to recognize the signs of hypothermia. If you land in water and your body temperature goes below 85 degrees, your chances of survival are reduced. Wind and water together can lower your body temperature below 85 degrees, even on a warm day. Pack appropriate gear such as drinking water, sunscreen, snacks, and a safety whistle for your trip. If you're on the water after sunset, you are required to have a flashlight or other lighting device to warn other boaters. Although not required, it is highly recommended that paddlers utilize a leash, tethering themselves to the board. There are various types of leashes designed specifically for surf, flat water, and rivers. Be sure to rent the leash according to the intended use. If you are new to paddling, by nature of the activity, there is a good chance that you may spend time in the water. Unfortunately, 56% of fatalities occurred from falling overboard, and 44% of fatalities occurred from drowning. These fatalities can be minimized through the use of life jackets. It's not surprising that the most important safety precaution you can take is to wear a life jacket while paddling. All life jackets must be U.S. Coast Guard approved, be of the proper size for the intended wearer, be in good and serviceable condition, including straps and zippers, and properly stowed. Keep in mind that if your life jacket is not snug, it is not properly fitted. And remember, for children under the age of 13, the use of life jackets are required by federal law. The Coast Guard recommends you always wear your life jacket while boating. Your rental boat livery will advise you of any local and state requirements regarding child life jacket wear while paddling. Transporting a paddleboard to and from your vehicle to the water can be an easy task when using the proper techniques. Most SUPs have built-in handles. Lean the board on its rail, edge, or side, reach for the handle, and tuck the board under one arm. Use your other hand to carry the paddle. If walking a longer distance, place the paddleboard on your head. Grasp the rails or edges with both hands. Walk yourself under the board, placing your head midway between the nose, front, and tail. Slowly stand, pick up the paddle, and head for the water. When you're new to the sport, you might find it easier to kneel on board rather than stand upright. Standing alongside the board in shallow water, place the paddle alongside the deck of the board, with blade resting in the water. Holding the rails, climb onto the board to a kneeling position just behind the center point of the board. The carrying handle located in the center of the board can be used as a good reference point to find the center of the board. From this position, gain your balance using your hands as stabilization. The board should remain on top of the water. The nose shouldn't pop up and the tail shouldn't dig in. Once you're comfortable, stand up on the board 1 foot at a time. Maintain your balance. Keep your feet parallel, hip width apart, centering your body on the board. Balance with your hips, not your upper body, keeping your toes forward, knees bent, and back straight. Focus your eyes ahead, not at your feet, and as you begin to pick up speed, your stability will increase. Don't be discouraged if you lose your balance and begin to fall. Aim to fall to the side so that you fall into the water rather than onto the board. This can protect you from injuries. Make sure you are holding the paddle the correct way, keeping the angle of the blade going forward. As you begin to paddle, focus on using your torso and abdominal muscles rather than just your arms. There are various strokes that can be used to maneuver on the paddleboard. Utilize forward stroke, the most basic stroke to move forward. Make sure your paddle is vertical when you're taking forward strokes. The sweep stroke is the basic turning stroke. It can be either a forward sweep or a reverse sweep. Bend your knees a little more and push the paddle away from the board, allowing the board to turn in the direction you are trying to go. Reverse or backstroke can be used to make a faster turn or reverse directions. Simply drag the paddle or paddle backwards. Be sure to always look in the direction you are turning. This will help you maintain your balance. Once on the water, there are navigation rules that you are required to know when it comes to stand-up paddling. While you are sure to find times of solitude, chances are good that you will be sharing the waterway with other boaters. Remember, as a paddler, you are the most vulnerable person on the water. Always keep a lookout for other boating traffic and the potential hazards that may exist. If you are a beginner, do not attempt to paddleboard in high traffic areas. The most ideal conditions are calm, flat water. It's a good idea to stay relatively close to the shoreline. Paddling across an open expanse can be extremely dangerous due to other vessel, traffic, and weather conditions. Never assume another vessel can see you and wear brightly colored clothes or life jackets. Never think you are fast enough to pass in front of a moving power vessel. The safest way to cross the path of a powerboat is to do so astern or behind the vessel. If your paddling group finds itself in front of a powerboat, be courteous and be mindful of the stopping distances of these other vessels. If paddling at dusk or at night, you should have a white light aboard. A flashlight will meet this requirement. If other vessels are in your vicinity, this light must be displayed in time to prevent a collision. You should also have some means of making the appropriate sound signals. A whistle will meet this requirement. Your rental livery company should alert you of any buoys, markers, and lights that you will encounter on your journey. Pay close attention since these navigation aids all have significance, direct vessel traffic, and indicate channels. There are also orange and white informational buoys that may indicate swimming areas or other dangers like rocks. Since the events of 9/11, recreational boating has changed, and you need to be aware of any restrictions on your local lakes and rivers or in your path of travel, including, but not limited to, restricted bridges, abutments, dams, power plants, reservoirs, and the restriction of all crafts within 100 yards of all U.S. Navy vessels. Again, your rental boat livery is your primary source of information here. Always conduct yourself with courteous behavior. Respect the rights of other paddlers, motorized vessels, landowners, and anglers. Stay as far away from them as is safe and practical. Be cautious when crossing busy waterways and stay near the shore and shallower areas. Avoid large vessels and navigable channels. If you do need to cross a channel, do so at a right angle to the waterway in order to reduce your time in the crossing. Obey all rules and regulations and use only public access points. Don't engage in inappropriate behavior. Never litter. Do not disturb wildlife. And minimize environmental impact when launching, portaging, scouting, stopping for lunch, camping, or using nature's restroom. Don't drink and boat. Like any other activity, paddling and alcohol do not mix. Never go paddling while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. The operation of any vessel while intoxicated is dangerous and against local, state, and federal laws. Good judgment is critical while on the water. Be aware that the effects of alcohol consumption can be intensified when you're out on the water due to a number of contributing factors such as heat and movement. By following the simple steps in this presentation, you can make sure your paddling experience is both fun and safe. If you understand the potential hazards that exist all around you and act responsibly to avoid them, you will have a safe boating experience to enjoy and remember. It's always a good idea to take a paddling safety course. There are many advanced paddling techniques to learn that will make your future paddling experiences fun and safe. Never drink and boat, and always wear your life jacket. The more time you spend on the water, the more experienced you will become. But no matter how many hours you have on the water, always use common sense. Stay alert and make note of your surroundings every time you take a stroke of the paddle. Your safety is our prime concern, but ultimately, safety on the water depends on you. Tess, welcome back to land. So how was your first experience out on the water?
So much fun.
What was your favorite part of paddleboarding?
You know, honestly, I really like the workout. It's a great workout and it's really beautiful, you know, staying on the paddleboard and stuff. And so if you don't go to the gym, just hop on a paddleboard and get your day's workout.
Bad way to start your day, right? Any challenges?
Yeah, I had to really wrestle with my balance there for a while, but eventually I got a hang of it and splits everything up.
Double dabs, right? So, be honest, did you fall off the board?
Yeah, a couple times.
A couple times. But you fell off the side, not onto the board, right? Safety first. And you're wearing your life jacket, so we know for sure that you were going to be safe to come back. Thanks for letting us share this experience with you out on the water, and next time I'm going with you.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. Have a great day. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah.
So you can tell that you can both have fun and be safe on the water. And don't forget, safety depends on you.